Now we have a Gemara in Masechet Nedarim. The Gemara in Masechet Nedarim says, if somebody takes off truma from his pile of fruits on his friend, so the Gemara has a doubt if that considered a benefit, and the law is zechim mitam shlichus. If it's a benefit for someone, he doesn't have to appoint me as a messenger. Or no, it's not a benefit because a person wants to do mitzvah begufa. He wants to do mitzvah himself, which means although he doesn't lose money, because normally take off truma, some of the fruits you give away to the kohen. You do a mitzvah, but you lose some money. Here, I do a mitzvah for him, but he gains it. He doesn't lose money because it's my money, it's my pile of fruits. So the Gemara has a doubt if that considered a benefit or not. So let's see the Rashba in the Dorim Daframet Vov Amud Beis. Odi boilehu. That the Gemara has a doubt. Atoyre misholah shel chaveiro, one who takes off truma from his own and his friend. Tzorich das or he doesn't need knowledge or not. Mi amrinon, do we say, came on the zechusu loy tzorich, since it's a benefit from him, for him, he doesn't need, or not? He doesn't need to appoint him, and it works or not. One svor is it's a benefit for him, so it's chimitam shlichus. Or no, it's not a total benefit because a person wants nichel inish lemeivat mitzvah begufei. It's comfortable for a man to do mitzvah in his own body by himself.
I wonder about the situation of what someone takes on his for someone else now.
Correct.
So he takes on his pile for that person's pile.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't seem like it's a tough feel. Even if it's a benefit for the guy that he doesn't take out of his pocket, if it's a heal for him to take from his own, a percent of his own, in order to do the mitzvah, it seems like you're not in the parsha of doing the mitzvah.
No, I did the mitzvah for you. Yeah. You could have done it yourself, or he did it for you.
My stuff I did.
Right? So the question is that it doesn't benefit because normally this mitzvah requires to lose money. So although it's my mitzvah, but somebody else did it for me and I don't lose the money, I gain the money, which means people care about the gaining of the money becomes a merit, or no, they care about the mitzvah themselves more than the money. The Gemara has a doubt what more normal people. That's why like big tzaddikim who don't care about money, want about mitzvahs. But the question of a normal person, what do you rather? You rather have the mitzvah himself, or rather the mitzvah is being done and he gains the money?
Yeah, but Rabbi Yitzchak, it's a ruchani versus a physical.
What?
It's a ruchani benefit. It's a ruchani side against the physical. Because if you're gaining, he's gaining money, and the other side is the ruchani. One is physical, one is ruchani.
So very interesting. What people prefer.
Yeah, but it's funny to have a doubt about two different bechinas.
For us, it's simple. You want ruchani, but not for everyone. Kasha.
I mean, yeah.
The Gemara has a kasha. The Rashba has a kasha. From his pile, his fruits, for the sake of your friend's pile of fruit, which means you're taking over the truma from yours. Correct? I did a favor for you.
Even your pile is already been taken.
Right. Kashili, there has to be the truma is not a positive mitzvah. Truma is a mitzvah kiyumis. You fulfill the mitzvah. It's not an obligation. It means you're not allowed to eat unless you take off truma. And if you took off truma, you mekayim a mitzvah. So somebody did it for you, okay. So the mitzvah chiyuv is vada, you want it yourself. If it's an obligation mitzvah, obligatory mitzvah, nobody's allowed to take it from you. The idea has to pay you 10 zuvim. Here have to be there is a fulfillment of a mitzvah, not an obligation.
I explained it.
Is a mitzvah kiyumi? Somebody else did it and you gain money. Well, as a suffering. Yes. Kashel. The last one. Shlichus. By truma, is required shlichus, being a messenger. Lav midin de nichele or nichele is not from the law of comfortable or not comfortable. What does that mean? Even though I know it's comfortable for him because there's usually midas of a yerush. It's not enough. It's a decree of the Torah. You have to be your awareness with das. Also, he sent a message with das. So what do I care that I take off from my pile and it's a merit? Good, because it's a merit, it's comfortable for you, so you assume that he agrees. No, you need to have, when I take off the tomb, you have to have the das of the owner to agree.
Positive das, not only.
In positive das, an active das. You should know for yourself. Behold, one who tells his friend, go and take off truma for me. And he went, when he found it being taken off truma, he doesn't know if the shliach fulfilled his messengers or not, is what is being sent to or not. The one who, according to the opinion that holds, that there's no chazok, there's no status, a shliach doesn't do his message. When I send someone, I cannot say there's a status, you fulfill what I send him to. There's no chazok. The man of a chazok, that he's not going to do a shlichus. So you know he did it. No, he did it. But there's no chazok, he did a shlichus, therefore what? Yes, Yonatan David. The concept is, there's a machloket when I send someone to do something, can I rely on it and make actions upon it? There's a status. Chazoko, shliach, oisa shlichusoi. The messenger does is what is being messengered for. Chazoko, no, there's no chazok. Chazok, it doesn't, unless you know for sure. You cannot assume that he did it. You cannot act upon it. Okay. What? I can't hear. One second, yes? It's machloket. Who the owner, the one that sent the messenger to do something for him, can he act upon what he sent him to? Without knowing that he did it. You'll see here, right here. If I said the message to truma, I cannot say, oh, he took off the truma, which means I cannot eat if I come home. I don't know if he took off the truma or not. I send him to take it off. I don't know if he did. Can I eat from the fruit without knowing that he took off truma or not? The Gemara says in Chulin you cannot. One who holds there's no status that he did is what he sent him to. You're not allowed to eat from the truma. Why? The dilma ini shachina, maybe somebody else. Shoma heard. And he took off truma, so you see truma on the side, doesn't mean he did it. Maybe somebody else did it. And the Rachman Omar, the merciful one, said, Atem, you take off truma with knowledge. Gam atem, also you the messenger. Ma'atem the same way you sell with your knowledge. Even your messengers with your knowledge. So what do we see? Even though those are nichele, there for sure we know that it's comfortable for him to take off because he said, go and take off truma. So he sent the messenger. He wants somebody else to take off truma, and he doesn't care about his own body doing it. Because what are the two sides of the Gemara if somebody else take off truma from his own pile on his friend's pile? Do we say it's a merit for him or no? He wants to do the mitzvah in his body, his own body. Here we see he doesn't care to do mitzvah because he sent a messenger. Yet the Gemara says, if there's no chazaka that the shliach that the messenger does his messenger, he's not allowed to eat from it. Because maybe somebody else took it off, and it's not good. You need himself. Why? He says, why? Since you already announced he doesn't care about himself, mitzvah begufay, the avar gavdosam nichele. There it's comfortable for him. Shetikno is scared that you fix his pile. Because he sent someone. So why it doesn't work? If the whole idea of the Gemara here and Nedorim, the two sides, when somebody else take off truma for you, is a benefit, or we say no, because you want to do the mitzvah yourself. So why, when he sent a messenger? And you cannot rely that he took it off, because maybe somebody else did it. There's no chazak. You're not allowed to eat from it. Why? Why not to eat from it? You definitely, even somebody else took it off, it should be good as a merit for you, as if he pointed as a messenger. Why? Because the whole idea why you don't point, because you want to do mitzvah on your own body, but here you already announced you don't care about your own body. You allowed somebody to take it off truma, not yourself. So you don't care about yourself about the mitzvah. So the truma turns to a merit, and if it's a merit, why I cannot eat from it? Maybe somebody else took it off, and the Torah says I have to appoint das mamish, have to have a life, an agreement das of doing it. Why I have? It's a benefit. And schimitam shlichus. Ve'yashloima, the Rashba answers. You understand the question, Yonatan David? No. Good. Others don't. Again, let's go over the question.
We said in the other before, right above, Rabbi Akiva Eger, we say that actually there's a spirit between why should there be a pasuk? You can understand by Svora that it doesn't have to be just like you say, just like you and user say. But here, the Rashba proves not so.
Starting base is since the whole what the Gemara in the Dorim says. If I take off truma from my pile and my friend's pile, the Gemara has two sides. One is a benefit, truma is a benefit. I did a mitzvah for you. You should be happy. Oh no, you want to do the mitzvah yourself. You don't lose. You didn't lose anything. So it's a merit for you. Oh no, you want to do the mitzvah your own body. Those are the two sides. She has a problem. What? Chet and Slavot Kashis. Lamed Vov Amud Beis, 36b. So the Rashba is a kash. We have a Gemara. In beginning of first chapter in Chulin. We have a Gemara, the Gemara says that if somebody told the messenger, go take off truma from my pile, and he comes home and he doesn't know if the messenger did it or not, according to the opinion that you cannot rely on your messenger, and you see the truma being taken off, you're not allowed to eat from the pile. Because maybe somebody else heard and he did it for you, and the law says you have to appoint, nobody can do it for you. Atem gamatem. Ma'atem ledaitchem, you have to do your own das. Also, your shliach, your measures to be your das. Capish? She says, why? You don't care about yourself because you're doing it, but you allowed somebody else to do it. So Mimela turns to schus, to a merit. So why don't we say that since you announced before that you agree that you don't do it yourself? So let somebody else do it for you, and you're happy about it, because there's a little bit of debt in it that you want to do yourself, because you already announced you don't care about yourself. So Zing, you don't care about yourself anymore, so it turns to a schus. Somebody did a mitzvah for you. You want to eat now. You're hungry. Can I cook again, or I can rely?
How is that different?
How is this different in the pit case? Why should be a different? A pit case, the law is it works. Yeah, this one doesn't work. Adarabbe, a pit case supports the question of the Rashba. We see that say Kol HaTorah in general works.
That case shows the distinction between.
Because I don't care about myself.
Between giving and truma. It shows the distinction. It's not so by giving.
Okay, get to know, but by truma works. Why? What do you want to say, David? That's what the Rashba's first position, and he changes. V'yeshloima, there is the answer. The Torah mishaloi al chaveiroi. When I take off truma from mine on my friend, shiny is different. We don't need a messenger to send from his own agreement. When I take off truma from the owner of the pile on his own pile, from his own pile, so there I need his das. But when I take off truma from my pile on my friend's pile, so it's my pile. I have my das when I'm doing it. Since it's not, it doesn't own by the owner of the pile. I don't need his appointing. There's enough zechia there. Then a double totally the thing is independent. If it's a merit for him, the zocher shall in front of it, and you can merit for him, not in front of him, without appointing. Or love schus, or maybe it's not a schus. The mitzvah not short deflate. That maybe is a mitzvah of his son is better. Those are the two sides of the Gemara. So what is the answer? He's answering that there's a difference between if I take off from my pile on my friend's pile, or my friend's pile on his own pile. Again, if I take off from my pile, so it's mine. If whatever I took, gain my friend with my truma, I want also exempt my friend, and I could. The law is truma has to be given a little. There's no amount, even mashu. So if I took off 2 apples, it's enough for myself and my friend too. So I can exempt my friend. So since the monetary belongs to me, the pile belongs to me, so then I'm allowed to do what I want in my pile. Now that I want to gain the truma for him, since it's a merit for him, I benefit for him. So something which is benefit, zechim mitam shlichus, is from the law of shlichus, which is the din das, the fact that it's benefit for him, and it's like a law that he agrees, it's enough. So then the din das works because it's from my pile. Or no, the Gemara has a side that since he wants to do mitzvah in his own body, it doesn't work. But when I take off from my friend pile on his own pile without being appointed, so there's not a complete merit. Because what? Because there's a loss of money. Although anyhow the money is going to be lost, because anyhow the money has to go to the Kohen, me or somebody else. But so of course my pile is my money, and you don't do in my money what I want to do in my money. So you're touching my money, my value with your decisions. There we say, I saw you here. I'll get you to you in a second. Since you're using my money, my pile, so then we say, hey, I didn't appoint you. It doesn't work. What do you want to say on something?
He's like a slave to your kindness because it's not correct kindness.
He's a small like you, this one now. Then again, I'm not around, and I need somebody doing me a favor, take off truma, because maybe my kids will start eating from it, and my wife, stumbling. There's nibbling everywhere there, and I want to be saved. So he saves me.
Positive communication is incredibly important.
What?
And there's a saying in English about assuming. It's never, I don't want to say it, but it's never a good thing to assume.
True. The question is, can I assume or not? So if I take off from my pile and your pile, you don't lose money. So then the Gemara has a suffix if it's not considered a merit or not. But from his personal pile, we say no. If he didn't appoint you, even though he doesn't care about himself, to do the mitzvah himself, but still, he has to appoint you. He's good. Okay, so what do we see from this Rashba? We see from this Rashba that even though the guy is comfortable not to do the mitzvah himself, but it's not enough. I have to appoint, right? I have to appoint. What? When it's his pile, I have to appoint. It's not his pile, so it's a merit, it's a schus. But when it's my pile, even though I don't care about myself, I have to appoint. From here, the K'tzos HaChoshen learns against the truma sadeshin. Turn the page before. Turn the page before. Daf Zayin. Daf Zayin.
Please do not forget personal belongings on the train.
I don't know. We gave it out yesterday.
Yeah.
Here. No, this is not Daf Zayin. You have Daf Zayin? So print it out. Print it out for people. One second, we get it. Okay, good. We can print again. We have printing machines. Easy, cheap. What the Truma Sadeshan said, let's go with Truma Sadeshan. Truma Sadeshan said, somebody, a woman, a servant, she needed a dough. Lasha Isa. And the owner, the balabai, went away. And Thomas Adeshan said, it's vaday a benefit for the owner that I take off the challah. And the servant, the maid servant, can take off the challah without permission. Yes, comes that's a Thomas Adeshan.
But in the dark case, you have a problem with getting pleasure from it.
The Dorim, I benefit the person. You talking about the Gemara and the Dorim? Or person in the pit? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. So the Gemara says, the Gemara and the Dorim, the Gemara says that one side is a benefit for him, so if I can do Zechim Mitam Shlichus, as if he appointed you. You don't need real appointment. When I take off from my pile to you, you don't need real, it's my pile for you. I don't need really your appointment is enough. I don't really need shlichus. Schim mitam shlichus works. But when it's your pile, so I need real shlichus. You'll das. So comes the and says, this Rashba is against the Thomas Adeshe. Let's see how.
Well, what if you have the problem?
Let's see how.
You can't get pleasure from that guy.
That's a different story. It's not our story than when you vow yourself. No one vows here. Let's see here what the Gemara, what the choice says. This is in the left column. He said, "Ubiyud baramo." You see, ubiyud baramo. Ubiyud means beyorodeo baramo. Simen shilchofres posach mershareses ipasken. That when you have a servant, kediva truma sadeshe. When you have a servant takes off the truma when it gets sour, while it's a dough, and not wait to bake it and take off after I bake it. Even though there's no destruction of the dough, just have two options: to take it off when it's a dough without permission, or after the baking with permission, when he comes to do it himself. So he said, without destruction of the dough, stop. The lechatchila is to do it right now. Lechatchila is to take off truma while it's a dough, and that fact that it's lechatchila to take it off when it's a dough, it's a reason that that the servant helps to take off the dough of the servant. Is a benefit for him. Say again, the Taz even says more. I don't need the destruction of the dough because it's getting sour. No, I have two sides. I should wait till I bake and it's al lechatchila, or right now it's lechatchila without permission. Plus, if I do lechatchila without permission, it will get destroyed. Okay, that's a side thing, even without getting destroyed. I just, because of lechatchila itself, that's a reason for me to do it right now. And the Truma Sadeshan says, yes, you could. What about Atem Gamatem? So comes the Ketzosh and he says, Vinki Yodatimius Erki, even though I know my poor knowledge, my poor value, Lahara, to think against. Achar Piske Moari, after the Pesach of Truma Sadeshan, Ubifrat Shekvar Olach Acharav Haramo Vataz, and especially that the Ramon Taz went after him. Oh, however, La news daiti to my poor knowledge.
He says, Akar Paske Mari.
Yes.
How do we understand from the ruling of the
Mahari is the Truma Sadeshan.
Yeah.
Oh, La news daiti. Toises Varashbol is Svilachim. Toises Varashbol, which Rashbol we just learned before. I'm going to do him the Flamet Vov. Kosav Shama Rashba Zelashoino. He quotes the Rashba. Odi Boilu, I'm reading it quick because we learned it. Odi Boilu, that the week Gemara has a doubt. The Gemara has a doubt if I take off truma from mine and my friend's pile, from my pile and my friend's pile, does he need the knowledge of my friend or not? Me, since it's a benefit for him, so I don't need his permission. Oh no, he wants to do it himself. His mitzvah, he wants to do it with his own body, so I need his knowledge. Kashili, the Raj was a kash on it. Shlichus is not from the law that if he appoints him, it means he's comfortable with it, and if he doesn't appoint him, he's not comfortable with it. So when it's a benefit for him, so you know for sure he wants it, so it's enough. I don't mean any shlichus. It's not true. Here, shlichus by truma is not because I don't know that it's comfortable for it. Even if I know it's comfortable for it, still it does not work. Why? El is a decree of the Torah. The ma'atem the the same with your own free knowledge, or the messenger's free knowledge. You should know for yourself. Behold, one who told his friend, go and take off truma for me. When he went and he found that Torah is being taken off truma, according to one who holds that there's no status that a messenger does his messengering. Dilma, maybe somebody else heard the Torah he took off truma, so he cannot rely if he find it being taken off truma because maybe somebody else did without being appointed. The Torah says in Bamidbar 18:28, Atem, Gamatem, you and also you, Matem the Daitrim, same with you have your das, active das. Shliach has to be an active, have to appoint him actively. Even though even there, who is there? The Gemara Chulin, he's comfortable that somebody else take off the truma. He doesn't need himself. Yet one I didn't appoint, it doesn't work. So we see it's a it's not enough that you know that I agree and I don't care about myself. I have to appoint an active point. So how come the Gemara says if I take off on my pile and your pile, it works? You need to appoint. So he answers, there is a say. The Torah Mishalo Shel Chavero Shiny. When I take off from my friend is different. Differente. I don't need that the messenger would be an appointed from him. Only when he take off truma from his own pile, from the pile of the owner on his from his own pile. But when I take off truma from my pile and my friend's pile, since it doesn't belong to the owner of the pile, I don't need to become his live appointed messenger. Mamash. Then is only dependent if it's a merit for him. The mitzvah is himself is better. So Toys and the Rajva said about the same thing. That what? Let's conclude that by truma you need to have excess. It's not enough that I know it's comfortable for him. Even though I know it's comfortable for him, it doesn't work. Even though I know it's comfortable for him, it does not work. Why? Because I'm taking off from his on his own, from shaloi shaloi. So then it's not enough that it's comfortable for me. What do I need? I need to appoint him. But when I'm not taking from his pile, from my pile, since it's a merit for him, it's okay. The imken if so. So let's talk about before imken. In the case where, this is for you, David, in the case when a person in the pit, and he says, anyone will take off, I'm happy. So I didn't appoint someone, even though I had made a vow not to benefit for him. But since I didn't appoint him, there's no minus shlichus, there's no appointing becoming a messenger. So since I didn't appoint him, Gilui das betruma is enough. It's enough to reveal by truma Gilui das. I reveal that I want. It's enough. So comes the Kivege, learns from this. What do we see? That the whole reason why by truma it doesn't work. Really, usually midas works, but since truma has a little bit of a bet that maybe wants to do it himself, when I know he doesn't care about himself, because he says anyone who can do it, doesn't care about himself. Somebody else can do it for him. But from this Rashba we see that even though the person said, go and take off truma, and you appoint someone, he's not allowed to go and eat from that pile when there's no chazokah that he did it, because maybe somebody else did it, and I didn't appoint him. What do you mean? But it's not worse than the case, David, that he says, anyone take off truma, I'll be happy. So he doesn't care about himself anymore. If he doesn't care about himself, so why? It doesn't work. So the Ramban will answer that if I appoint someone, I care only about him. I don't want anybody else. There's for only him, nobody else. But when I say anyone who wants, so although in both cases I don't care about doing the mitzvah myself, but in the case where I appoint, maybe I want only him, nobody else. But the Rashba didn't answer that. The Rashba didn't say that when I appoint, and there's no chazok that he did it, maybe somebody else did it, and the Torah says I have to appoint him. So the kasha, why? He doesn't care about himself doing the mitzvah, so what do I care if somebody else did it? So he didn't answer because I appointed him, means I want only him. He made a different chiluk. He made a chiluk, depends where he taking off the truma from. If he taking off truma from the pile of the balabait, anshel balabait, mishal balakir, balakeri, there, they say, I makpid only you, nobody else. But when I take off from my pile, so you can't say you makpid. It's not your pile. I'm doing what I want mine. So don't need any shadows. It's chus or not. The question is here really the Rashba argued, or he's saying a deeper chiluk. Definitely the Ktsois understood that the Rashba argues. Let's hear the Ktsois says. V'im ken if so, be'ayda mesharetet, in this case of the maidservant, shemafreshes chala mishel balabais, she takes off chala from the owner's chala, from the owner's dough. There's no benefit for him, for the balabait. Why? We didn't say when I merit the object. Somebody wants to give me a present. At the point I take off this object and say, I want to give it to you as a present. I want to give it to Jonathan David as a present. He doesn't know about it. I want to give it to Yanko. Doesn't know about it, but still, why not? Give me 2 even for free, right? So he doesn't need to know about it because he gets something he never had. Or b'mezake get least, the one who takes off a get, he merits a get for his wife when there's a fight. The woman merits the get when there's a fight there. Or she gained that he's going to die. He's not going to fall to Yibum. There's no children. Or if somebody takes off truma from his own pile for him, so then he gains, I give him a gift. I give him a gift of truma, a spiritual gift. But when I need to take off from his money and to benefit from him, who the hell are you? When I take off from the balabais, it's not a merit anymore. It's not a schuskomu. It's only a benefit. It's only benefit there. And shlichus not enough that he's comfortable. So what do we see from the Rashba? Comes the choice and he says this truma tradition that the Reb Kiva we learned really the truma there's no difference between truma and anything else. I don't mean there's no gzeras hakosu that you need das in by truma. It's only a technical thing that normal truma you want to do mitzvah your own body. Normal truma it's a little bit of a debt, but when you remove the debt, how? When a person screams out of the pit, anyone take off truma, I'm happy you take it off. So I don't care about myself. Even I didn't appoint the person. I don't need to appoint. So therefore it works. But from the Rashba we see no. That the chilik was not, the chilik is if it's your part, not your part. If I give you something outside external as a gift, I'm giving you a gift, I give you a gift without a point, without knowing. It's a gift, it's a merit, it's a schus, you don't have to appoint. But when I take from your money and I benefit a mitzvah from your money, there is not enough that it's comfortable. You need mamish shlichus. Okay, this is the choice that puts the Rashba against the Mari. Basic in our world is the choices that the Rashba and the place in the Dorim are against the Kiveg of Shatnei Gemara. That's a problem for us. So we have to retranslate what the Rashba really means. So we have another Rashba in Masechet Kiddush and Dafnim Beis. Would that enlighten us what really the Rashba holds?
I want to ask you.
Yes, go ahead.
Is it really right that we take the Gezeres Akasa and we see that there are situations where the Gezeres Akasa applies, situations where the Gezeres Akasa doesn't apply to certain things. But it's not across the board all the time. It's Gezeres Akasa. But we can say Svara Lav Likra.
Yes. Yes.
Now this is the situation. About all these different opinions.
Yes. So the choice and the church. That was the kasha, and he agreed to the kasha. He just said the one who says you shouldn't take off truma it's part of the Gezeras HaKos. It's different than anywhere else. It's part of the Gezeras HaKos. Nichus is not enough. But let's see the Rashba in Kiddushin. Yes. It's comfortable. When I take off from the balabais money, I can't say it's benefit. It's not a free for free. They give you something for free. I say, give me 2. There's a Jewish people say, why Hashem gave us 2 tabernacles, 2 tablets, not that, 2 tablets, because for free. So we say, give me 2. Give me more. So it's for free, it's okay. So if something is for free, something you give me a gift, you give me a get, you give me from your pile. For me, I gain. I don't have to lose. Gain for me. Thank you very much. This mitzvah, and I don't lose money, and I gain from it. You made me not to lose money. Thank you very much. You gave me to remove a loss of money. That's a gift. That's a gift. But when it's for my pile, it says my pile for my means. You're not giving me something. You just want me to agree or not agree. So it's a nichusa. So I say by truma, since a little bit of what. Or maybe a person wants to do the mitzvah himself. He doesn't care about himself. You see that he sends somebody else, so he doesn't care about himself. Still, but nichus is not enough. How does he know?
He says anyone.
He says, no, he didn't say anyone. He said, I appoint this guy to take off truma, means he doesn't care himself. If he said somebody else can do it, means he doesn't want his own body to do it. There is a concept in the Gemara, mitzvah boyos and mishlucha. It's a mitzvah to do yourself more than a messenger. Okay, so he doesn't do it himself. But we don't know if he wants to do it himself or not. But in this case, we send someone, we know he doesn't care about himself. Yet the Gemara says somebody else cannot do it. So from there, the Rashba learns, because the fact that it's comfortable for me, I don't care about myself, doesn't mean that it's enough team das to produce truma. He didn't mamish appointed. This is the way the choice learned the Rashba.
We made a hillock between when he says just anyone could do it, between to someone particular.
No, that's according to Ramban. Ramban will make a hillock. There's difference between anybody or somebody specific. So Ramban says if somebody says anyone that wants to take truma works, and the Ramban says, you know why? Because by truma is enough nichusa. It's enough gilui das. But the Rashba they argue on that. The Ran right away is on the Ramban there. How does it work? The Torah says atem gam atem. How can the Ramban say such a thing? So the Kibege answers the Ramban. Pshana Ramban is like we said Shana Gemara. That really truma is the same like anything else. Just because the truma is a little bit of a debt that maybe he wants to do it himself. Once I know he doesn't care about himself, because he announced before, anyone do it, it would work. The Ran argues and says nichud is not enough. You need to have mamish zechus. Like the Rashba says, you need to have mamish zechus. When is mamish zechus? When I do it mishalach shechavero from my pile, my friend. But the Rashba, this I really give you the answer. The choice learner really there's no machloikis in essence between the Rashba and the Ramban, or Ran Rashba and the Ramban. Why? The only shaila is when I have any chus, when I take from your pile on your pile, that he doesn't care about his own mitzvah doing himself. So we have any chus if it works or not. According to the Rashba, nichus is not enough. According to the Ramban, nichus is enough. But when I have a real merit, nobody will argue that there's no argument about it. In essence, which is the way you understand it, it's not a special kosu by truma that you need mamish das. It's just a shadow what I have. When I have any chusa, it's enough or not. By aveda, nichusa is machlekes. By and rova works or not. The law doesn't work. By truma, even according to Rav Yush lemidas, aveyush, we say it does not work. Exactly. It's machlokes in nigda, not in the gedda. Yes.
What's the scale of checking that the guy doesn't care?
What's what?
The scale. What's
Loyalty. We don't know. We would just have an assumption. We have rules, and according to the rules of the Gemara, we want to build what Chazal understood. How do I define a person? That's all we have. We don't know what's the truth. Yes. So again, what do we have? We have a machloket Tosfot the Rashba against the Ramban. Tosfot Rashba Ran against Ramban. It does by Trumash Nichuse or Gildas is enough or not. According to the Ramban, Nichuse it's enough. And we announced before the Adipit, anyone take off Truma, it's enough. Because once I know that he agrees to it, so he doesn't care about his own body doing the mitzvah. So then the fact Truma is the mitzvah it's enough merit, enough of a mitzvah for somebody to take off truma. Same thing is by mesharetes. When if I wait after the baking is not lechatchila to take off truma, take off challah. So take it right now. It's a mitzvah, so I can take it without knowledge. It's an ichusa. Comes the Berashbon, he says no. When I give you a gift from my pile to you, or I give you a real gift, an object as a gift, or when I merit a divorce, a bill of divorce in a place of Tota or Yibum, place of a fight or Yibum, so you gain something, you give me something outside, external, a gift. So we say it's a merit, and it's zochish or befonov. It's a schus, and schim mitam shlichus on the work. Where's the das? It's enough it's enough assumption that we know you agree. It's like Anan Sad, it works. But when it's truma, when truma is okay, truma there's few problems. Truma has two barometers. Number is when you do the mitzvah yourself. Number two, you took off my truma, my money without asking me. Although this money in the end will go to the Kohen, but right now it's my money and you give it yet. So it's a little bit of, those are the two frictions we have here. And the fact that he doesn't care about his own, doing the mitzvah on his own, the Ramban hold it's enough. The fact that he doesn't care because he announced anyone who took up the truma, it's enough. There's no problem about them gamatem there. And why, when I appoint someone, I want to summarize. Why, when I appoint someone, nobody else can do it? Because I want him, nobody else. He knows me. The Ramban says he knows my das. As Tosha says, he knows my das. How much I take off truma? So I don't want nobody else. That Tosha says that. He knows me. So therefore, the Ramban says there's a chiluk. When I say go and take off truma, and somebody else hears about it and he does it, and there's no chazaka that he did it, so I cannot eat from it because there's the point him, nobody else. I don't care about doing the mitzvah myself. Truly don't care about doing the mitzvah myself, but I care about him, nobody else, because I said him, not him. Maybe it's my money, under my money, maybe I must be only him, nobody else, because he knows me, recognizes he knows my das. I want only him, nobody else. That's what the way the Ramban will answer the kasha of the Rashba. But the Rashba will say no. The Rashba, this is the Ramban I said now. The Rashba will say no. When I give it an external gift to someone, matana, or I take it from my pile, truma, from my get to you, to the woman. So then we say, was a complete zechia. Oh, here we know we agree about. So we had him down on his own pile. There's not a complete. There's no debt here. There's no debt. Why there's no debt? Because he doesn't care about mitzvah begufoy. But true doesn't care mitzvah. But he can't say it's a full merit because it's his money that takes to be a balabait on somebody else's money, even though he's going to lose it later on. That's only a comfortable. It's not a real schus. That's the way the Rashba looks at it. So therefore, it's not a real schus. So din das, is not enough. Once this is the point. But when you do have a real das, for example, the dough will get ruined, and if I don't take off now truma, I won't be like hatchila. Could be that even the Rashba will agree to the truma sadeshin. This is the way the Kivay learned. Kivay learned in the Rashba that since it's only a shmachloikis and a nigda, not in a geder. The case of truma sadeshin is a schus gomu. Why? Even though the dough belongs to the master. But there's an external factor that if I'm going to wait, you're going to lose the mitzvah lechatchila, and it will be ruined. So therefore, in such a case, the little bit of choiv, the two stumbling factor. One factor we said you want to do the mitzvah on your own. You can't say do mitzvah on your own because you're going to lose the mitzvah lechatchila. What about how can he do something on my money? But it's a complete benefit because it's not mitzvah. You want to do mitzvah by him doing it will be mitzvah lechatchila. It's not nichele mitzvah mitzvah gufoy. It's lechatchila. So the mitzvah lechatchila overrides. That's the Thomas and let it take off truma, and even the Rashi will agree to it. It's only a chitimtza. Under the normal circumstances, if I take off from the balabait's carry, from his balabait pile, normally it's only nichusa, because it's his money, although he doesn't care about doing his own mitzvah on his own, because you already announced, he appoints somebody else to do it. So it's just a nichusa. Nichusa is not enough. You need the sadesh kubitza real schools, because it's external factor. What? Mitzvah lechatchila. They only want to ask.
I want to say there's going to be a message.
Yes. So there's no way out only to do it such a way. What do you want to say?
I want to say that even the Rashbo, we cover what was going on about
Good. Why?
because you see,
And the nikdar difference even in why?
because all the Rashbo is built in Mandoma Chazok
Yes.
but really why? Because when he says, I send it, maybe no. But if I say Chazoko,
That he did the shlichus,
it works. Even money of someone, even
his own money, but he appointed it. If Chazon is who did this, who did it?
no.
If they say Chazon is who took up the Simon and Mashiach, it works.
No, I don't need a small.
I don't need anything else. If I appoint it, I point. That's all.
Someone else will do it. A case, someone else did it.
That's not the case there. The case, the question there, can I assume the shliach did it, somebody else? The Gemara says, I don't assume the shliach did it, somebody else did it, doesn't work. But if he did it, the shliach did it, because he did it, and I pointed it, it works. We want to prove only if there's no shliach, so then somebody else did it, doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Must be that because you need the chus is not enough.
It's not something. Maybe you do it.
The chus is not enough. So because it's his money, and the Ramban says it does work. From the fact that he made a general statement, it should work. He says, "Tzaddik shalom imen menorah." Rivlin, Alechem Sholem. Yerushalayim, the Torah of Yerushalayim. Yeah. Right. His father used to be an owner of Asaf Cave, and we call it today Echal David, and also the building of the Shanson building. He used to run around and play football here in Atzio. You remember Rabbi Yitzchak? Sure. Okay. מה אתה עושה היום? יושב ולומד. זה לא גם. יושב ולומד ומלמד, וגם עוד הרבה דברים. זה התשובה, זה היום ירושלים מלמד אותך. מה ירושלים מלמד אותך? כי מציין תצטויר, מה ילמד אותך ירושלים? שמה אתה עושה? אני לומד ומלמד, וגם הרבה דברים. לא אני עושה הרבה דברים וגם לא. זה חשוב מאוד מאוד. ואוי דבו העיקר, אתה יודע מה שהרבי אומר ואוי דבו העיקר? ואוי דבו העיקר, זה העיקר. בסדר. So let's go over what we have. The Ramban says if somebody's in the pit and he announced anyone wants to give a Quran from the person give a get. It works. Why? Because Gilui Das Betruma works, not really a Shliach. Gilui Das works. So the Rashba argues, but the Rashba says no, it's not because Gilui Das. The Rashba says, and the Ramban will answer why in the case when you appoint a shliach, nobody else can do it because he wants him, nobody else. The Rashba because he wants him and nobody else. The answers there is Ispile. So it's only Nichusa. She needs Nichoya, right? It doesn't work. The Machlokes says, how do I define here Nichusa? It's a real schus or it's only Nichusa? But everybody agrees when it's only Nichusa, it doesn't work. When it's a real schus, it works. The shaila is, when I announce anyone to take off truma, I don't care about my mitzvah, be good for you. It's only shaila is my money. According to the Ramban, is enough. It's a schus, it's Zochen Shol the fun of that. And according to the Ramban, it's only Nichusa. because maybe you're touching my money, so it's only a comfortable. That's my real schools. Ramban against the Rashba. Sorry. So I just said like this. There's no real machlokes according to my understanding. Forget my understanding. The Kiva it's a bombshell. Kiva brings the truma sadesha to prove his point. To answer the Ramban and the Gemara, we have Rashba, Toisvis against him. And so there are Kiva, maybe it's a machlokes rishonim, but the Kiva didn't mention machlokes rishonim. So it seems to be holding that there's a machlokes in the Geder, not in the Nigdal. And the Nigdal, not in the Geder, which is everybody agrees of real schus. And by truma works, it produces the das. And when there's only nechusa, it's not enough. But when it's only nechusa, by truma is b'choy. But when the shaila is when a person says anyone will take off truma, or somebody says I give you a messenger, take off truma. How do I define that? He doesn't care about himself taking off truma, but somebody's touching his truma without asking permission, his pile of fruits. So the Rashba holds when somebody touches my pile of fruit, it's only nichus, it's not zechus. And the Ramban will hold that once you remove the choiv, that doesn't care about his own mitzvah, so even though he touches my pile, it works. It's because it's like a schus. It's a schus of the mitzvah. Becomes a schus, mitzvah becomes a schus. The Gemara says that when I appoint someone more than chuli, nobody else can do it because I wanted him, nobody else, because he knows umakir be'ayin balabais. That's language I think of Teisenov and Rashba. He knows my das. I only him, nobody else. The Rashba didn't answer that. The Rashba didn't say nobody else because I wanted him, nobody else. He just said it's not a real. It's only nichus, not a real schus. It's a different answer. But in concept, in the definition, nobody argues. They want to have a real schus. It works. When it's not a real schus, it doesn't work. That's all.
And Mushtach Babo, when he says that,
machlokes between the Ramban and the Rashba will be if I'm sitting in the pit and I scream. If it's enough according to the Rashba would not work, like the Ran argues in the Ramban there. According to the Ramban, it works. Here, he doesn't care about mitzvah b'gufoy. Truma is a mitzvah and it's a schus. The Ramban says, true, he doesn't care about mitzvah b'gufoy, but it's his pile, it's its money. Although he's going to give that money later on, but right now it's his money. Who the hell you touch my money with that? It's comfortable for me, but you can't say it's a complete schus. That's a machlokes in definition. Then we gain. First, we're going to give the gain steer in the Rashba in a second, that the Bikashim will bring down. And also we gain that the Truma Sadeshem, we can fit together with the Rashba. Now let's see the Rashba in Kiddushin and Beis Amud Aleph. Mehoda Amrina. Do you have papers? You can't just sit here and look at me.
the guy doesn't do it. He wants to do the mitzvah by himself.
Good. What?
The guy wants to do the mitzvah by himself.
Yes.
But he doesn't do it.
Dirk is not around. Can I do it for him or not? Here. מאוד האמרינון ותסבר. מאוד האמרינון ותסברו. That we say ותסברו, השליחוס הוא in kematzlinu shichus lekotel. The Gemara has a shaila. What do you think is shlichus? If he says shlichus, we found shlichus to a minor. The Amrinon, and we said, Elokiyo de Rabbi Babarchana, Omar Avgido Omarav, Minayin shezochim shelo befonov, mashma deschir lamidin shlichusu. Again, The Rashba here is debating if I'm married to a child, so then can I send a messenger as a child? Can I appoint the child? So the Gemara says, since it's to appoint the child as shlichus, and we found that it cannot be. There's no shlichus hakoton. This is what the Gemara says. With this, how can you say that this pshat that I appointed the child, no shlichus, if I appointed him as shlichus, whatever the case is. If so, we found shlichus for a child, for a minor, and we know there's no shlichus for a minor. This is the state of the Gemara. So now the Rashba says, the Gemara says, how do I know? I can merit from a male not in front of him. So what do we see from the concept? If I can mashma because if I can merit something with you without a front, it means you didn't appoint me. If you didn't appoint me, means Zechia cannot be as a messenger because he didn't appoint me. And yet the law is and I can merit for a minor from the Torah. It's not shlichus. So we see Zechia works for a minor, and since not in front of him, means not midin shlichus, and it works from the Torah. If you don't say so. When the Gemara has a kasha with Tizbro, do you really think so? If so, we found that you can send a messenger as a minor. How can the Gemara give an answer? How do we know that you can merit for a man? We have a problem. If it's a merit, if so, we found a minor to become a messenger. Okay, we have to really see the Gemara there to understand what he's really saying. But what he's really saying for us before we see the Gemara. What?
Because the principle is the shlichus, and therefore you still have a kasha.
Yes. Since the chinitam shlichus, so therefore, how can we do zechia here? We found if zechia is shlichus, and we can do zechia for koton, so it comes out there is shlichus for koton. That's the mishvah. That's the scale equation. If zechia is shlichus and zechia works for a minor, means there is shlichus for a minor. Vochinami mashma. From here also makes sense. Le'el, we can infer this from the Gemara before. The Perek, first chapter of Kiddushin. Gemara, the Perek Gemara. Evet Knaini. I know it's about once I get to the point. Although we have to see the Gemara understand this for well, but it's not my goal this second. So I want to get you to the point before we wrap up the Shiur. What we get out of this Rashi. Evet Knaini Koina Atzmo, a non-Jewish slave acquires himself. Bishtar with a document of Dachim to others means Evet Knaini has no hand. So how can he become free? He cannot write a shtar, he writes to himself. His hand belongs to his master. Somebody else gives a shtar through others, and he merits it for the Evet Knaini. The Tanya also from Shimon and Elozar Oimer, Av bishtar d'achayim in. Al de'atzmo shtar through others works to himself now. Uboi Rova, and Rova has a problem there. Rab Shimon Elozar Evet Maush says shliach gabagitu el Rabbi. Can an Evet send a shliach to receive a get from the hand of his master? Koima, which means al de'achayim damrinon through others we said. Normal others works is not the paya of Rova, because the rabbi, the master, told merit this bill of divorce of freedom for the slave to get shichus allowed. The Eved didn't appoint him, the master appointed him. So therefore, when the slave does the messenger, does it work or not? Or Dilma maybe no. Maybe when the Eved does it, it works. We see from those two Gemaras. The Zechia shemezake lo harav me'atzmo. the fact that the master merits, he wants to give a gift, a bill of freedom, bill of divorce, bill of freedom, to the slave, through others, and they merit this bill of freedom for the non-Jewish slave, not in front of him. It cannot be a messenger. So we see again, he is not shlichus, because if shlichus, the Gemara has a shaila, can the slave make shliach or not? And by the master through others, definitely it works. So we see Zechi is not midam shlichus. So the Raja brings two places where we see Zechi as merit is not from the Lord's shlichus. The legabe kotanami also found minor too. There's no difference. The afal pi sheina b'shlichus, even though minor is not in the world of becoming a messenger, yet I can merit for them, not in front of them. So therefore, from those two Gemaras, we see that Zechia la mitam shlichus. Ve'roi si leraboseinu bala atoyses shomish moshel Rashi. But he says, what can I do? I found toyses that quote Rashi. The Zechia mitam shlichus, that Zechia is shlichus, and then we have a problem. If Zechia is mitam shlichus, how can it work for a minor, and how can it work for a slave? And toyses answer this, by the way. What Tosis answers? That is alidei acheri. Das smakin is different. If somebody else helps the minor to acquire it, it works. You understand? It's called das smakin. But a child himself to have zechiyah doesn't work. Okay. He says, they brought a proof. Tosis in the name of Rashi brought a proof. The Gemara page 12 of Metzia says, a courtyard, if let's say something comes into my courtyard, I acquire it. From which law? Shlichus or yad, or my hand? So the Gemara says, it's being learned from the concept of a hand. Same way my hand, when it comes to my hand, it's mine, I acquire it. Also, whenever it comes into my courtyard, is mine. It's not worse from appointing someone. A gift, which is a merit. You can benefit someone not in front of him. So you see a chotz there. It's a hand and not worse from shlichus. And if a matone, a gift, enters my chotzer, I can benefit from me without knowing about it, not in front of me, not being around. So you see there what?
It's not worse than shlichus, but it's not shlichus.
So they say it's not worse than shlichus, which means although it's not mamish shlichus, but it's not worse than shlichus. Lo yigor mishlichus. What is lo yigor mishlichus? That shlichus is still there. I don't know. What are they bringing a proof here?
If you want to bring a raya, hey, there's no shlichus by a cotton. Hey, because there's a shlichus by a cotton. That's not an answer.
I don't know. This I don't know yet. What's Nugat us ve'oid? Ve'oid, this the whole thing is for the ve'oid. Ve'oid, da amrino beperek ben amudor, atoire mishul one will take a truma from his pile on his friend's pile. That's our Gemara. Tzorich das, as a doubt, knowledge. What's the side you don't need his knowledge? You need because it's his own mitzvah. He wants to do it himself. Or maybe answer das by me. I don't need the knowledge. Why? Here's the punchline. Mishum des sulay, because there's a merit for him. And I can merit something from my friend not in front of him. Truma, shlichus ksiva. And by truma, listen, this is the punchline. By truma, there is a shlichus. So how can I take off from my pile and my friend pile because it's a merit for him? So what if it's a merit for him? But a merit needs shlichus, and by truma I need shlichus. Uba truma shlichus ksiva. V'ila, and if it wasn't, the choshen keshluchoi, if it wasn't as considered that I'm his messenger, lo yocholitom, we're not able to take off truma. Afal gab the schusol, even though there's a merit for him. Must be that since it's a merit, it's shlichus as if you appointed me. So what do we gain from this Rashba? Wow. So you can't say that Rashba made the chiluk between when I need gzeras hakosum atem gamatem. It's only when I take off from the pile of the owner from his own pile on his own pile. Mishal balabait al shabalabait, mishal balaki al balaki. But when I take off of mine on my friend, the language of the Rashba, look at the language of the Rashba says, Lo ibayin shlichus mamash. You don't need a real shlichus. That's the way the what's his name? The Ksois learned. It's simple. You don't really need shlichus. When I'm taking from your keri, so your keri needs to be atem gamatem. Your keri means you have obligation. You take off from your keri, from your pile. Also, a shliach that takes from your pile has to be a das like you. But when I take from my pile and yours, I'm the balaki. So I don't need das anymore with myself. I just want to merit your works. I don't need shlichus mamash. But we see from Rashba and Kiddushin that you do need shlichus. Because the whole eye of Rashi, the whole eye that this brings to Rashi, that tzchi mitam shlichus, how can I turn it for myself and my friend? Because it's zechia, but truma needs shlichus. The Rashi says you don't need shlichus. Because it's my carry. No. You do need shlichus. And tzchi mitam shlichus. The only question is a real tzchi or not. So I have to reread the Rashi what the Kibbutz Hegel means. That when I'm taking from his pile on his own pile, so although he doesn't care about taking off to himself, but it's only nechusa because you're taking away his boss. It's not a boss anymore. Somebody else plays around in his money. So it's not a complete schus, it's only nechusa. That's the way Rashi learns it. But when somebody takes off his pile and somebody else pile, so it doesn't bother you being a boss, because it's my bike. There, don't say you don't need shlichus mamish. You have zechim mitam shlichus, or you have as if you have shlichus. You don't need shlichus mamish means you don't need real das mamash, a live das. The point. That's what it means. You need shlichus. Not that you don't need shlichus. You need shlichus, but you don't need a shavya shliach. You don't need shlichus bepe mamash. That's what it means. You need zechim mitam shlichus. It works, but really it works mitam shlichus. Like we see Rashba and Bobeka and Kiddushin. So the Bimeir Kiveg is right. Then what? Then when the Mesharetes wants to take off challah for the master, it works because of the benefit of the master. Why? Because otherwise the door is going to get ruined. It's a nezek. So if it means I follow the take off truma when it's a dough with lechatchila, will be a damage. So therefore, in order to remove the damage, I have to do it after it's baking, is not lechatchila. So in order to gain the lechatchila beisa, it removes away the debt that I want to do a mitzvah myself, because against the nichel, it's against lechatchila. Nichusa, it will be thrown away out the window because lechatchila to go from beisa. He's touching my dough. He didn't ask me. I'm going to get to the balabait, and the Rashba says only nichusa. Here's a complete merit. Because I want to gain the lechatchila, the balabai wants to gain the lechatchila. Therefore, it becomes a merit, even according to the Rashba, and even the Rashba agrees to Tumas Adashon that it works lechatchila. Capish? Okay. This is what I said last week in the Shiur. Clearly, another yeshiva, not here, so we didn't have enough do the Rashba. I said I will do the Rashba on Thursday. We didn't have enough time to do the Rashba. So today I pushed it quick. Because Shmuel speaks about this thing. You mean the two Rashbas? Now we're ready for the Shmuel review it today. It's a long day. And tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to see the Birkat Shmuel. We have now, Bezrat Hashem, the week of Kabbalah Torah. We accept the Torah, Bezrat Hashem, and Motzei Shabbos. We're going to be up all night on Torah and Yeshiva. Everyone is required to stay in Yeshiva. The place where you accept your Torah is where? Where you learn. Now, wait a second, I have a friend in Moshav, in Yishuv, and there's some girls there. That's what I'm joking. But I want to go there, and maybe I can find a shul. It's all great. But not in the night of Kabbalah Torah. Night of Kabbalah Torah, you come here. No, it's number two. We Yerushalmi Chagiga says, Daf Yud Aleph. We don't need Yerushalmi at night. We should come on Yerushalmi. But the Yerushalmi Chagiga Daf Yud Aleph says, died. Okay? David HaMelech died, Tivan, and Shavuos. So Shavuos accept, receive Tzaddik every year when he goes up his Yotzam, not Zion, it's Makom Torah of David HaMelech. And anybody else in the whole world comes here, so now can you go out? No. Everybody must stay in the yeshiva, learn all night, accept the Torah. We're going to have a Shiur towards the morning, Iyun Shiur preparing. I want to go through the whole Kashmul this week and finish it on Shavuos night. Tonight is not Rosh Chodesh. Today is Yom Yerushalayim. Hashem did us a big miracle, and we got Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is a mixed feeling day. And normal by Yom Ha'atzmaut, the day of establishing the Israeli government, we're not so happy because it's a half a cup. One part is we have Eretz Yisrael is being given back to the Jews, but who controls the non-religious people? So it's a little bit pain for the kingdom of Hashem. So we cannot be happy, but it's much easier for us to keep Torah mitzvahs. So we thank Hashem for that. But we cannot really be part of the celebration of the state of Israel because we cannot show that we're happy with non-ruling. But Yerushalayim is different. Shalayim is a city hall. Who controls the city hall? Religious guy, Moshe Leon, and his party, majority are religious people. So Yerushalayim has been given back to the Jews and religious Jews. It's being run, for example, in Shemitah. They don't worry, they don't water, and they don't cut all the trees in Yerushalayim, the city control areas. They don't do. They follow Shemitah. Kilchosa. It's Yerushalayim is following Kilchosa. Wow, can really celebrate, be happy, really happy. Thank Hashem. So how do you thank Hashem? Exactly. And more Torah. Metzia Tetz Torah is a place where Torah comes out of here. You have a merit that came from Chutzlaretz. So now I come to Chutzlaretz, but I need a couple of pennies here, and I have to do this, I do that. Stupid! After 2,000 years, he came from Chutzlaretz, in Yerushalayim, you got us on Torah all day. You sell yourself short for a couple of pennies. Stupidity. Okay? Okay, but stupidity. So you have to do all mamish muchach. If it's not muchach, it's a Torah in yeshiva. Shouldn't give a bracha all. It's a Torah in yeshiva. Die Kanadier in der Kasche, Gott sagt, dass Bogen sagt, dass wir der Fika. Jemand tut sich nehmen. Aber nur wenn wir jetzt mal